Hello, Science Giants. Today we are going to be looking at two unicellular organisms. One is called a euglena and one is called a paramecium. So I'm going to show you what we do because these are actually living organisms and they come in a container. My alarm is ringing. Let me go turn it off.
Okay, yep, I heard it. I'll leave just a minute.
And so they come in these containers, and we will use a pipette, which is this science tool, to get them out of here and put them onto a microscope slide. So I have a microscope slide here, and I also have this container right here that has something called cover slips in it. And a cover slip is a tiny, tiny, very, very thin sheet of glass. Hard to see it. Sheet of glass that you use to cover a specimen. The other thing that you're going to use when you make a slide, and this is called making a wet mount slide, is something called protoslow. So this is a chemical that actually slows down these unicellular organisms so that we can see them under the microscope so they're not moving too quickly. So when you do this, you go into your container, and at the bottom of this container, there is a little kind of ball of stuff. Let's see if I can show you. And I'm going to put the pipette close to that to get out the organism. So I'm going to, before you put the pipette in, you squeeze the bulb at the top, and then you're going to grab some of the fluid, and you're going to just put a couple of drops, actually even one drop. Hopefully I have some of the specimen in there. And then I'm going to put one drop of the protoslow on there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that cover slip and I'm going to slide it and put it on angle. And then I'm going to set it down on angle, which should knock out any bubbles and things that might show up on my slide. Now, sometimes there's a little bit of moisture that comes on the outside edges of a slide, and I would just take a little paper towel and set it very carefully next to the edge of that cover slip to soak up any moisture that might come out the sides of the cover slip. And then I'm ready to take it over to the microscope and look for that organism. So we're going to be thinking about the structure and function of these two different living things. They look very different. They have very different parts, but they're both unicellular. So they have everything they need in one cell in order to survive. So you're going to be thinking about that as you examine those structures and think about the functions of those structures for these two things to live, the paramecium and the euglena.